Uhlwile Mthwakazi omuhle silamukela njalo kwesinye isiqephu sethu sezindaba kumsakazo weCitizens Movement Radio. Namhla kungoLwesithathu zili-18 kuNhlangula ngomnyaka ka-2025. Indaba lezethulelwa nguKhethiwe Chuma. Kwesigijima phambili namhlanje, uhulumende uthengisa umzabalazo wamhla zili-16 kuNhlangula ngenxa yokunganaki ugatsha lwezemfundo, kusho ilunga ledale lephalamende. Impikisho iletha impumelelo ngemva kokuba kuvinjiwe ukuba Oxley Mnangagwa ayekhuluma kwele London emhlanganweni. Kulokutshontsha okwesabekayo osokuphambanisa ilizwe laseZimbabwe, kusho uComrade Ostalos Siziba. Nanzi indaba zethu ngokugcweleyo. Uhulumende webandla leZANU-PF usesolwe kakhulu ngokunganaki imizamo yenziwa ngabantu abasha kuzwekazi le-Afrika ababhubhayo ngomnyaka ka-1976 kumvukela waseSoweto lapho ababelwela imfundo engcono. Lokhu kuye kwashiwo ngomela umama edale lephalamende esabelweni seMashonaland West umhlonitshwa uMusa Mrombetsi, othe uhulumende uyehluleka ukuba alungisise udaba lwamatitshala asebenza e-University yaseZimbabwe labo ababhikishela iholo elingcono. Lokhu kuphambanisa labo ababhubhayo mhla zili-16 kuNhlangula ngomnyaka ka-1976. uMrombetsi uye wakhathazeka njalo ngenani labantwana abaphumayo ezikolweni ngenxa yokudubeka. Lokho sokulethe imbuzo yokuthi inga uhulumende uzimisele na ukulungisisa ezemfundo lokunanza usuku lomntwana omncane wase-Afrika. Ake sizweni uMrombetsi ekhuluma.
Indeed, June 16, 1976 is a day that has been etched in the history of Africa. And today we know June 16 as the Day of the African Child. And it was on this day that young people in Soweto rose with courage, demanding their right to quality education in a language they understood, in a system that respected their dignity. Many of them were killed, but their message thundered across borders. Education is a right, not a privilege. That same spirit of resistance fed into our own liberation struggle here in Zimbabwe. Young people took arms, others mobilized in schools, in churches, and on the streets. The promise was that the new Zimbabwe would never marginalize the youth. But today, I ask, where are we when the University of Zimbabwe lecturers are striking over unpaid salaries? When our rural girls are dropping out because they cannot afford uniforms or sanitary wear? When thousands of school children walk long distances to schools with no teachers, can we truly say we have honored that promise? What we are seeing is a betrayal, not just of the Soweto generation, but of our own constitution, which guarantees the right to education for all. And our youth are still fighting, not only now. The battlefield is unemployment, the battlefield is poverty, the battlefield is a lack of opportunity. And the baton has been passed from 1976 to us, and we cannot drop it. The Day of the African Child must not be reduced to slogans. It must remind us of our duty to protect, educate, and empower every child in Zimbabwe. The struggle lives on, and so must our commitment.
U-Oxley Mnangagwa ubekhangelele ukuba ahlanganyele emhlanganweni we-Flair Summit obuzaba khona eLondon kwele UK izolo. Wesabili akasayanga ngenxa yempikisho eyenziwe izizalwane zaseZimbabwe eziphila ngaphandle kwelizwe. Kulokuba ehlanganela kulowo mhlangano, unkosikazi kaMnangagwa uye wahlangana komunye umhlangano obuseDubai. Abaqoqele impikisho bathi kube impumelela ukwesaba kuka-Oxley ukuza eLondon. Lokho kuveze ukuba bona abaphumelele. Ukungaveli kukankosikazi kaMnangagwa kulo mhlangano akuvimbanga leli qembu ebelisenza impikisho ngokuthula kwele London ukuba liye kuma kuleyo ndawo bekulo mhlangano khona bebhikishela ukufa kwezomkhonomi elizweni. Lokhu abathi kwenziwa ngumkakhe othungamela inkohlakalo. Owayemela iPhelandaba Tshabalala edale lePhalamende uGift Ostalos Siziba useveze ukukhathazeka ngenkohlakalo eyenziwa i-ofisi ka-Emmerson Mnangagwa le athi iza kuletha ukungahlaliseki elizweni. USiziba uye wakhuthaza izakhamizi ukuba zikhulume ngale nkohlakalo. Wabuye waxwayisa njalo ukuba kuza kuba khona impikisho ezayenziwa isenzelwa u-Emmerson Mnangagwa ngenxa yenkohlakalo eyenziwayo. Inkulumo yakhe iza ngemva kokuba kuvele ukuba kule nkohlakalo esabekayo ngendaba zokuphiwa kwamathenda, lokhu okuveza ukuba akuhanjiswa ngendlela kanti njalo kugoqela lo Mnangagwa. Ake sithole imininingwana kuntathelizindaba yethu. Kusenjalo intathelizindaba ehlolisisa ngezokuphenya uHopewell Chinono useveze ukuba enye inkampani ehlanganisela umlingani ka-Emmerson Mnangagwa lo onguye ongumcebisi wakhe uPaul Thungwarara ukuba isiqalile umsebenzi wokulungisiswa kwesibhedlela sase-Parirenyatwa. UChinono uthi inkampani kaThungwarara eyaziwa ngokuthi Prevail Group of Companies iqale umsebenzi ngobusuku okwavakatshela khona uMnangagwa esibhedlela. uThungwarara ungomunye wabafuqa udaba luka-2030 lokuba uMnangagwa ahlale esikhundleni kuze kufike umnyaka ka-2028 kudlulele phambili. Isiphathamandla sebandla eliphikisayo u-Eric Kono uthi ingqubela phambili ngaphansi kukahulumende ka-Emmerson Mnangagwa iza ngentengo ephezulu yenkohlakalo. Lo owayemela iLobhengula Magwegwe edale lePhalamende uthi uMnangagwa uza kukhunjulwa ngokufuqa indaba zenkohlakalo kuhulumende, lokhu okungakaze kwenzakale elizweni leZimbabwe selokhu kwatholwa uzibuse. Ake sizweni uKono ekhuluma.
Kuyayangisa kakhulu i-government kaMnangagwa izaba ku-history kwayi-government engcole kakhulu. Sinxa sikhangele indlela abayenza ngayo sibone kathesi sokule company okuthiwa isi-rehabilitator i-Parirenyatwa Hospital and li company zaphiwa imali ezafika phose izigidi lezigidi zamadola. Lokhu kuyasimangalisa ukuthi amathenda asikaze sibizwe esenzwa, sizwa kuphela sokuthiwa sokule company ethile esiphiwe lo msebenzi. Njalo ngananzelela amakhampani akhona ngamakhampani abangani baka-president. So lokhu kuyasimangalisa kakhulu, kodwa-ke sokuyisikhathi ukubana abantwana baseZimbabwe lani sike sizibuza ukuthi iyona impilo esifuna ukuthi ilizwe lethu liphile kiyo le ukuthi kulama-families amalutshwana azabe ethatha inotho yelizwe. Abaqali namhla emalangeni amalutshwana adlulileyo siwabonile besenza i-geopamona, lakho futhi into esemndenini wabo. Sibonile futhi kule ndaba ye-Victoria Falls Bulawayo Highway, layo futhi asizange sizwa amathenda esenzwa, but sibona sekulamakhampani amile khona ngale amakhampani wabo. So umbuzo ubususiba ebantwaneni baseZimbabwe kubana iyona iZimbabwe esiyifunayo. Sizahlala sigoqa izandla abantu betshontshe lelizwe kangaka yini, kumbe sekuzaba lathi lesikhathi lapho sokumele siphakame khona sizama ukuthi silungisise ilizwe lakithi.
Siye saxoxisana lezakhamizi ukuze sizwe imbono yabo ngalokhu kutshontshwa okwenziwa ngabalingani bakaMnangagwa abathi uWicknell Chivayo kanye loPaul Thungwarara. Ake sizweni.
Hello Zimbabwe, hello citizens, Tony Shawa here. Well, the issue of corruption in Zimbabwe has become a cancer, and the most unfortunate thing about it is that it's coming from the top, going down, you know. So, you know, if the top starts to rot, obviously the rest is history. The rest is just gonna follow suit after the top, because the top are the people who are responsible for everything that happens in our country. They're the ones who controls the levers of power. So if they cannot manage corruption themselves and within their consciences they don't feel that remorse that most of the people of Zimbabwe are suffering, most of the people of Zimbabwe are losing their identity, their dignity. Imagine all those kids who are being born in South Africa, in England, in America, all over the world, who are Zimbabweans. They are getting they are losing touch with their heritage. They are losing touch with where they come from. But if you look at it, you see that all is emanating from the corrupt regime that we have in Zimbabwe. And it's quite very unfortunate that these people continue to bring in new tactics in order to continue stealing from the nation. And it's so sad that there is nobody who is putting them into check to see what's really going on, because like I said earlier, they are the ones who controls the levers of power. So do you think they can arrest themselves? No. Do you think they can really truthfully arrest somebody who is in power, or who has a position in power over corruption, when they themselves are into it? Do you think they can? It's easy for them to just arrest or punish an ordinary citizen for stealing a chicken, or for something very silly, something very small. But you see that we have people who are stealing millions, and it's affecting the country, it's affecting the nation, it's affecting everyone. It's a cancer that we have in Zimbabwe, which needs a lot of brainstorming and a lot of sacrifice among us as the citizens and those who are in the political or opposition politics, so that we see that this is solved once and for all. Thank you.
I am Linton Mwanaka, an ex-political prisoner. The massive looting and widespread corruption being caused by the cruel Mnangagwa's government have severe and far-reaching effects on citizens. The looting has resulted in economic instability, leading to mismanagement of public funds, reduced economic growth, and increased poverty. Mnangagwa's looting and corrupt government has increased inequality. A small elite is benefiting at the expense of the general population, exacerbating into inequality. The heartless looting government has resulted in a loss of trust. The widespread of looting and corruption erodes citizens' trust in government institutions, leading to disillusionment and social unrest. Looting itself is a violation of human rights, where Mnangagwa government prioritized their interests over citizens' rights, leading to abuses and violations. The regime of Mnangagwa has stunted development, hindering economic development, infrastructure growth, and social progress. Looting and corruption may cause citizens to become frustrated and angry, leading to protests, demonstrations, or even violence. The People's President we voted for in 2023, Advocate Nelson Chamisa, please save us from this mess. Thank you.
Omela umama edalele ephalamende esabelweni saseHarare umhlonitshwa uGladys Hlatshwayo usexwayise ukuba kwenza umthetho wokuthanda ilizwe lokuzinikela usetshenziswe ngendlela engayisiyo, kanti njalo uza kuhlukumeza izakhamizi lezo ezingahambisani lombono webandla leZANU-PF. Uye wakhuluma inkulumo yakhe ephalamende kuliviki. Umhlonitshwa uHlatshwayo uthe inkulumo ezifana lokuthakazelela ilizwe sezisetshenziswe ngendlela engayisiyo ukuze kujeziswe labo abebandla eliphikisayo. Uye wangezelela ukuba ngokufaka umthetho ukuba kube lokuthembeka lokuthanda ilizwe kuza kwenza abantu basebenze ngokungakhululeki, njengalokho kutshiwo isisekelo sombuso ukuba abantu kumele benze ngokukhululeka. Ake simzweni umhlonitshwa ekhuluma.
Motion put forward by Honorable Matiki. Let me pose it from the very onset of my debate, Madam Speaker, that I am vehemently opposed to this motion and the idea of legislating patriotism for the reasons that I'm going to outline. Number one, legislating patriotism can be a tool for abuse of power and suppressing dissent through punishing individuals who express opinions that challenge the status quo, or the government of the day. In a competitive authoritarian context such as Zimbabwe, where there is party-state conflation, terms such as national interest are often euphemisms for advancing party interest and interest of the ruling class or ruling elite. In this case, legislating patriotism might be actually legislating the zanification of the state. Number two, Madam Speaker, there is also a danger that legislating patriotism can erode civil liberties and restrict freedoms of speech, assembly, and association. These civil liberties are at the heart of any democratic society and encoded in our own Bill of Rights, in our own Constitution, and must therefore be protected and protected rather than taken away by opaque, divisive, and undemocratic laws under the guise of legislating patriotism. The proposed prayer by the mover of the motion also has a chilling effect on public discourse, Madam Speaker. Open, honest public debate that is so instrumental to democratic development might be discouraged as fear grips the country. In an era where efforts are being made to re-engage the international community, as enunciated in the National Development Strategy, among other policy blueprints, and in the context of globalization, Madam Speaker, legislating patriotism risks further isolating the country, as other nations may view such laws as violations of human rights and democratic norms. As Zimbabweans, we must reject the acerbic, inward-looking dispositions that led to our isolation and failed attempts at autarky. Patriotism, Madam Speaker, can also be very subjective. The definition of patriotism can be very subjective. And any attempt to define it risks being arbitrary and unfair, more so in our context. If you are to ask me what patriotism is, Madam Speaker, I will probably tell you what it is not, based on my lived experiences. I will tell you that it is not siphoning of national resources into individual pockets. I will probably tell you, Madam Speaker, that it is not abducting citizens in broad daylight, including parliamentarians, Madam Speaker, and opposition leaders, because they belong to a different political party. Patriotism is not extrajudicial killings of opposition members because they have not voted for your party. It is not weaponizing of the judiciary against political opponents. It is not dismantling of state institutions, including, Madam Speaker, a whole parliament, into commissariat departments of one political party. It is not targeting an ethnic group for massive killings under the guise of national interest. It is not plunging the country into chaos through attempts to change the constitution and extend one's term of office. It is not that, Madam Speaker. Patriotism can never be blind, can never be blindness to flaws in your own country. I will quote Mark Twain, Madam Speaker, and tell you that patriotism is supporting one's country all the time and one's government when it deserves it. In conclusion, Madam Speaker, I wish to reiterate my strong opposition to the motion under debate. Legislating patriotism is a slippery slope, Madam Speaker, that might end up breeding authoritarian consolidation in this our country and suppression of fundamental rights of Zimbabwean citizens. Honorable Speaker, patriotism must be nurtured and never legislated. Focus on government and indeed this very House must be on prioritizing the interests of ordinary citizens through the protection of human rights, provision of potable water, electricity, good hospitals, education, jobs, plugging revenue leaks and ending corruption. And patriotism would develop, Madam Speaker, organically. Seek ye provision of citizens, seek ye provision of services to citizens and protection of their rights, and everything else will be added unto you. I so submit.
Imbiko evela kwele South Africa ithi sokulokukhathazeka ngenani eliphezulu lezizalwane leziphathamandla zaseZimbabwe ezisebenzisa ama-diplomatic passport ezingena kule ingcwele. Imbiko ithi inani labantu abadlula kumngcelele ngelanga ingamakhulu 3, kanti njalo iziphathamandla zithi ziyakhathazeka ngalokhu. Uhulumende ka-Emmerson Mnangagwa waziwa ngokunikeza abantu imisebenzi kahulumende ebantwini abafana labaprofiti abazithi oHubert Angel kanye loPassion Java abaziwa ngenkohlakalo njalo besenza ukukhwabanisa njengabantu abasebenzela uhulumende bephiwa igunya nguMnangagwa. Owayengungqongqoshe wendaba zangaphandle kuleli lizwe uWalter Mzembe akazukuthola inkululeko ngemva kokuba umantshi wenkantolo yaseHarare ethe kabuyele ejele ngoba wehluleka ukuvela enkantolo ngesikhathi engaphandle kwelizwe. Icala likaMzembe lidluliselwe kunyanga ezayo lapho kuza kuqalwa khona ukushushiswa kwecala lakhe. Imbiko evelayo ngalo wayelilunga le-G40 ithi waboshwa esesendleleni yokubuyela kwele Zambia ngemva kokuba ehluleke ukuba abe lo mhlangano lo Emmerson Mnangagwa. Ngesikhangele kwezemidlalo, iqembu likaDivine Lunga eleMamelodi Sundowns izolo lenze imbali emangalisayo ngemva kokuba linqobile laba liqembu lokuqala kuzwekazi le-Afrika ukuba linqobe emidlalweni edlalwayo ye-FIFA Club World Cup. Iqembu le-Sundowns liye lanqoba i-Aslan yase-South Korea 1-0 behlohle ngemzuzu enga-36. Kweminye imidlalo edlaliweyo, iFluminense kanye leBorussia Dortmund zibe ngujikilobhanqa 0-0 lapho bekuhlandla elifanayo. Okwemidlalo ye-English Premier Soccer League sebememezele imidlalo ezakudlalwa kusizini yomnyaka ka-2025 kusiya ku-2026 le ekhangelelwe ukuba iqale enyangeni ezimbili ezizayo. Iqembu le-Manchester United liza kudlala le-Arsenal kuleyo mpelaviki yakuqala yokuvula imidlalo bese kusithi intshantshu iLiverpool iza kudlala le-Bournemouth e-Anfield. iChelsea yona iza kubhekana leCrystal Palace bese kusithi iManchester City yona iza kudlala leqembu likaMarshall Munetti iWolves. Ukuziphetha lezi ndaba kumsakazo weCitizens Movement Radio naze bezihamba phambili. Uhulumende uthengisa umzabalazo wamhla zili-16 kuNhlangula ngokunganaki ugatsha lwezemfundo kusho ilunga ledale lephalamende. Imbhikisho iletha ukunqoba ngemva kokuba u-Auxilliar Mnangagwa ehlulekile ukuyakhuluma emhlanganweni kwele London. Ukutshontshwa okumangalisayo sokuphambanisa ukuqhutshwa kwezinto elizweni leZimbabwe kusho Comrade Gift Ostalos Siziba. Siziphethe lapha lezi ndaba.